Silicone mold making is not as hard as you think, and we're going to prove it today. So come join us. Welcome to Alumilite. My name is Jake, and I've poured thousands of pounds of silicone you can see in the background. Without trying to give away too many of my trade secrets, I'm going to show you how easy it is to pour silicone. I'm going to take the intimidation out of it. Just a little bit more about me. I make silicone molds to do resin casting in pen blanks, bottle stopper blanks, handle blanks, all the kind of stuff like that that people turn on the lathe. And I make the silicone molds for people to do that with. And I wanted to stand out a little bit. They needed to work and they also needed to look good. And I wanted to stand out from everybody else. So the swirling on these is where it's at. Here's another example, bottle stopper mold right here. And pen blanks. The different colors you can do with the silicone and stuff like that is how I started doing this and why mine are different. And I partnered with Alumilite this whole time to be able to do that. And I'm going to show you that here today. I also need to quickly know if things are going to work. So I prototype things quickly. I'm going to show you everything you need to do all of this stuff with. And we can just start with the silicone. We'll talk about my main silicone here in a second. I use it for everything except prototyping. It just takes too long. It's a long working time. You have to let it cure, all that stuff. But amazing mold maker. You can go ahead and stir it for 6 to 8 minutes, put it in there. 30 minutes later, you're going to be able to demold it. And we're going to do that today. And I'm going to show you exactly how this works while we're doing other stuff. My absolute favorite silicone to use is Platinum 25. What does that mean? Platinum based. There's platinum based and there's tin based. Alumilite has a video on everything you know on which one you need to choose and all that stuff. But for me, all I need to know is that platinum base lasts longer. It's tougher. It's gonna be better for my customers to have this. It's gonna last longer for them. That's all I really need to know. The other things you need to know is this has a 35-minute working time. So you can sit here and stir this stuff for 35 minutes. It has time to go in the vacuum chamber. It is recommended that this goes in the vacuum chamber if you're gonna use it in molds that are gonna end up in a pressure pot later. But I'm just gonna go ahead and say now that my preference is to just do this anyway. This machinery isn't that high. We'll talk about it in a second, but it's not that big of a deal to do that, and your molds come out so much better. The other thing I need to know about this is it's clear. It's absolutely clear, and so I can color it with Alumilite's dyes, and I'll show you those in a second. The other thing we need to know is what does 25 mean? This is shore hardness, so they're going to have Plat 10, Plat 25, Plat 40, and all that means is the hardness of it, the elasticity of it once you get it poured. Like some things you're going to need to get delicate, and you're going to need to stretch it more to get it off of whatever you're making. So you might go with a 10 then. 25 is good for me because it pours well, it keeps its shape. The things that I make, I don't have to pry it too much or doesn't need to be that movable to get it off of there. And when I pour into it, it keeps its shape. Now 40 would just be probably overkill for what I need to do, but it might be right for you. But the numbers on the side, 25, 10, and 40 mean the hardness of it. One thing that might be unclear is how do you measure this out by weight or volume? It says here on this container to do it by weight, and on the website it says 1-to-1. So we're gonna figure it out right now. I have a scale right here, and let's just go ahead and weigh this. Part A is 500 on the dot. Part B is 501. That tells me that weight is where it's at, but we also need to see, are these filled the same? Are the levels of these the same? So I'm gonna go ahead and take the lids off of these and show you. Now these are, I just opened them and they are pretty much exactly the same. So I would say weight or volume, it doesn't matter. Now this is a 2-pound kit. They have a 10-pound kit, and they also have 50-pound kits. Ooh, let me put these down. For me, it makes sense to buy the bigger amount, and then I make as many molds as I can. The thing you need to know is to buy what you're gonna use. So the shelf life on them, I'm not exactly sure it is, but it has to do with conditions in your shop. Have you had it opened? And I've had some that I had for months and months, and I went in to use it, and it was my fault that I didn't use it when I got it. So they kind of went bad. So buy what you're gonna use. We are going to make a couple projects today, and before we start, I have glasses. I'm going to put gloves on. I have a well-ventilated area. I'll be safe in my shop. You be safe in your shop. And the other thing is, what all we need for this? Let's just go through a list of all this stuff that we're going to need. Some of it's not absolutely necessary, but I use it. This is how I do it. So take that for what it's worth. What you can see right in front of me is vacuum chambers, and you can also see a vacuum pump right here and one right here. One's expensive, one's cheap. I have a video on my channel about this kind of stuff. You don't need super expensive stuff to do this, but in my opinion, you do need to vacuum degas. It makes such a difference in the quality of the mold you make. Next thing you're gonna need, some silicone to degas. And the next thing I need is the colorant. The silicone color that I use is from Alumilite. It comes in like this. And then I go ahead and I put it in little squeeze bottles like this, so it's easier to mess with. There's probably some other ways to do this, but when I make my products, I need to know that it's going to be the same every time. There might be DIY solutions and things like that, but it's easier for me to just buy this and I get it in bulk. I buy as much as I can when it's on sale. Might be even a coupon code or two down below for that, but I get it. And it's going to have consistent results every time, and I need to have that to run my business. Next thing we need is we need to have something that we want to copy. I want to copy this piece of wood, and I'll show you. This is a pretty awesome piece of wood. It's a stabilized maple burl, and I think I want to make copies of it, so I'm going to do that. The other thing we're going to do is one of my molds, a couple different ones of my molds, and I'll show you that. And the other thing you need is, besides what you want to copy, is you need something to pour into. So in the case of this, I'm just gonna set this down here. I'm not gonna glue it down. I'm not gonna do anything like that. I'm just gonna set it down there and show you how easy this is. Let me set this to the side. And then I'm gonna show you what I have over here. This is the simplest of the simple that you can do. And I'm gonna get a little bit more advanced over here, but it's still simple. Let's go over here. Just a few things over here. I wanna make something like this. So I designed it with a 3D printer and made a box around it to pour into. I think that was the simplest way to do it. And so I 3D printed this. Sides come apart, the logo's on there. It's pretty easy to do in the 3D printing world. And then at the end of it, this came out of this. And so now, when I pour into here, I'm gonna get something that looks like this. You need something to pour into. We made this, and we made a silicone mold with this, so we can make a silicone mold out of that. While we're over here at this table, you're gonna notice these little platforms. This is HDPE plastic, and they have these little leveling feet on here. This is all it is something flat with some threaded holes in there to get your screws in there so you can level this thing. One important thing we need to know about silicone is it sticks to silicone. I have these silicone spatulas over here, and I don't use them very much except for just the last little scoop, and I wash them off right away because I have forgotten to wash them off before, and it just becomes one big clump of silicone. So that's what we need to remember before we talk about the next thing, mold release. I did a video not too long ago on mold release, and I compared a bunch of them. I use this, but silicone sticks to silicone. We have a silicone mold, and we're gonna pour silicone into it, so we need to go ahead and do this right now before we forget. Don't forget, it's gonna be a pretty expensive paperweight. While we're here, you can see this right here. All I did was take one of these platforms and I CNC'd in there, a little bit more advanced than, not everybody has a CNC machine, but I put the leftovers in there. I make these fun funnels, and they're for resin, and they drip out. They make you swirl resin very well, but they need caps that go on there. So you can set that on the table while you fill it up. Though how I get these is from the leftovers from my stuff. So you'll see that here in a second too. I'm gonna go ahead and start a little prototype right now. It is a beautiful piece of wood. It's gonna be super simple. I'm not gonna show you all of this stuff, weighing and all that stuff. I'm gonna put the amazing mold maker in there. I'm just gonna get a little bit, and I'll show you how I'm gonna do this without sticking this down. I'm gonna go ahead and just sit this right here and center it in that cup the best I can, and make sure not to touch it after this. I just wanna get the bottom surface of the cup, and that's gonna touch the wood, and it's gonna hold it down there for the next time. So we don't have to worry about hot glue or tape or any crazy stuff. And just don't put so much in here at this point that it makes the wood float. and we're gonna be good to go. And we'll revisit this here in a few minutes. I have 2 single cavity pin molds over here and 2 knife scale molds over here. They're gonna be orange and white, and I'm gonna show you how to do that and how we get the swirls. So just let me get this mixed up and skip all the boring stuff. This is gonna be orange and white, and the white one's gonna be easy. There's like 600 grams in here, so I don't even need a full gram of this color. And go ahead and get this mixed in as soon as you put it in there, or it's gonna sink to the bottom and act crazy. So let's get this mixed up real quick. We're still gonna mix this a little bit more after, so it's not that big a deal, but just wanna get it started. And now Alumilite doesn't sell orange, so we have to make our own. It's gonna be a whole lot of yellow to a little bit of red. There's a full gram of yellow. I'm just gonna put a dot of red and we'll mix up and see. I'm not mad at that at all. I think it looks pretty good. It's almost like I've made orange before. And I'll just mix these for a couple more minutes just because I can. We got plenty of time. We're almost 9 minutes in and we're ready to go. This stuff's mixed, it has color. None of it's been difficult so far, but I think this is the intimidating part that most people think is difficult. But I'm gonna prove it today that this is the funnest part for me. You're just gonna put it in here. One little side note real quick. See how this level is almost half? You wanna use as big a cup as you can, so that way you don't run into the chance of overflowing this. I'll show on here if it does almost overflow or whatever, you gotta let air back in here, but it's no big deal, super easy. Turn on our pump. We're gonna open our valve and let it suck the air out of here. My favorite part is when it falls. It's pretty close to falling right now. Super close. Is it gonna go over? We let some air in there. And now it falls. Super close. If I would have had it in a bigger cup, it would have went up and then all the bubbles fall at one time. And that's the favorite thing for me to look at. It's most satisfying. I don't know why, it just is. All right, no more bubbles coming out. Let the air back into this thing slowly. We can go ahead and set that, just let it sit for a second and let it rest. The whole point about this whole thing is these things aren't expensive. They're not hard to do. They're fun to work with. And your projects are gonna become so much better after this. And I'm gonna put these together and I'll show you the swirling technique. Please don't steal my ideas or make me go bankrupt. And if you do, go ahead and use the discount codes. There we go. I'm just kidding. Y'all do whatever you want to do. For whatever reason, I like to pour the dark into the light. I think it swirls better. I'm not sure if that's even right or not, but that's what we're gonna do. Just go from kind of high up so it'll dip in there. Don't mix it, just let it do whatever it's gonna do. This should be fantastic. That's what it's gonna look like. You'll be tempted to stir this, but then you're just gonna be making light orange. Or if it's other colors, it's gonna be making different colors. You wanna keep your color separation here. We've already done enough. And it's time to pour. Kind of pour from high up. They call it bombs away or something like that. It just helps to keep the air out of it. Ooh, I like it. Now this is where trial and error is going to come into play. If you pour it fast, it's not going to swirl as good. If you pour it a little bit slower, it's going to swirl. And what I normally do is I normally start pouring on the opposite side of the mold that my logo's on. So when it starts swirling really good, I'll start pouring over there and then it looks pretty good. Trial and error. We want to go to the exact top of this mold. And the good thing is we have time. If we fall short, we'll have time to make some more. Just get it on there. And if you waited too long, silicone sticks to silicone, so we're still good. We'll do one last little look to make sure we're full on all of them. And I think we are. So you can see right here, is that set up or not? Well, I kept the stick and everything. The stuff that's in here is already set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some more. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you right now that that's not gonna move. Here we go. Once again, we're not degassing this because one, we don't have time, and two, it's just a prototype. But if you pour from high up like this, it helps to get rid of the bubbles. Not going to cure it, but it'll make it better. And along with just mixing slowly and nicely and not introducing bubbles yourself helps out a lot too. Whoop, there it goes. I might as well make a couple of these while I'm at it too. Now we need to know the demold time of Plat 25. It says 24 hours on the thing. If I'm pouring into plastic, HDPE, something that's super slick, and there's no possibility that it's going to stick, I'll leave it in there the full 24 hours. But I'm pouring into silicone, and it kind of scares me. So I wait, it's right around 6 hours. It's going to be squishy. You'll be able to fingerprint it. As soon as that's done, and it becomes a little more firm and you can't fingerprint anymore, that's when I demold it, and I'll show you that in about 6 hours. So editing. This is about 5.5 hours later. We're back. I did check it about an hour ago and it was still a little bit squishy, and you could leave your fingerprints on it. I think it's good now, and I'm going to show you that. But before I do, if you've gotten anything out of this video, go ahead and subscribe to Alumilite. Go into the description, check out the stuff, leave us a comment, and go to my channel and check me out over there too. Now let's check this stuff out. Hopefully you can see that it's pretty, it's not as squishy as it was, and you can tell it's solidified just fine. So I'm going to take one, try to get it to where you can see it. You're going to crack open one of the sides and just get it to release, get some air in there, and go all the way around first. You're going to need to get your fingers in there to get one of the edges and release it just like that. Easy peasy. Leaving it all night scares me. I'm sure it still worked, but I'd rather do it in this time frame than that. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Let's get these other ones done. These are not ready to use yet. You need to let these cure. The demold time was 24 hours. We didn't pay attention to that, but I will pay attention to cure time. Don't do anything with these for a couple of days at least. And especially if you're making these, let these cure for several days before you cast silicone back into them. If they're still having a chemical reaction, this will try to stick to this, mold release or not. So go ahead and let these cure until they're done. Like, just forget about them for a few days and then go ahead and make these in them. Ooh, let's look at this thing. This thing's pretty cool, pretty easy. I could have demolded this in 30 minutes. I just let it sit here with the rest of it. So we'll go ahead and I'm just gonna cut this right along where the edge of that wood is. Look at that. Look how cool that's going to be. I think today was a successful day of silicone mold making. We started off at the beginning of this video saying that I'm going to take some of the intimidation out of making your own molds. Hopefully I've done that. If I have, go down, hit the subscribe button, like, leave us a comments. Any questions, go to the comments. I'll answer them here on Alumilite's channel. Come visit my channel. Links in the description for everything. And we'll see you next time. Y'all be good.